Received by Raphael. There is a lot going on behind the scenes, and this has affected the way many of you have seen this reality. For days now, I have been close to Neva waiting for the communication channels to open, while the agitations of energies on your planet seek a point for harmonization. It is to be expected that channels transmitting our messages around the world will feel a need for pause, especially now when long-awaited events are on the threshold. The way many of you have seen reality may seem a bit smoky or distorted, and this is due to the fact that there is actually a melting of time and reality as you know it. It does not mean that you will stop living or having your usual experiences, but it will change the way your bodies respond to this reality. You are entering ever more subtle layers, and as you do so, you may find yourself observing physicality in a way that appears to you to be clearly like a holograph. In other words, your bodies, and especially your vision, will notice that something is no longer the same as before, and that is a fact. Light workers, who are increasingly aligned with their life purposes, will notice a considerable increase in their sensitivity, in order to more easily capture the frequencies around them. Extra physical presences will become more noticeable, and the way you deal with these energies will become safer, as you are becoming what you always were. It is normal that you also notice attempts by those who wish to maintain the status quo, pulling you towards the other extreme of the old reality, but it is unlikely that you will return to the old vibratory patterns, as you have reached a point where there is no return to the old ways. It is also important to emphasize that, due to the intense turmoil behind the scenes of Mother Earth, many of the light workers will find it difficult to connect with us, not because we are far away, but simply because there is a sweep of poorly qualified thought forms throughout planetary grid, and this causes considerable noise. Therefore, it is necessary that you preserve the time dedicated to your social networks and seek, more and more, to be in contact with nature. Of course, you know that one of the intentions of us, the Galactic Federation, when implementing the Internet on Earth is, and has always been, to strengthen ties and remove borders, in addition to many other aids. However, those who work in darkness have tried to hijack your technology to make all of you on the surface of the planet dependent and in dopamine imbalance. Such things will be readjusted as many of you become aware of what is really happening, and as we move towards full disclosure of our presence. This is a point that we also inform now. There are many of our allies infiltrated in your governments, and they have more than enough informative documents to release on the web, in places that are freely accessible to everyone. It is a matter of time before more information about us is revealed. Of course, there are also those with bad intentions who will try to usurp these outreach programs in an attempt to fit their own nefarious agendas into them. What we are quick to inform you is that this will not be tolerated by the fleets of Ashta Command. Keep in mind that there is more light and security around the Earth than ever before, and no plan that violates the originality of the protocols decreed by the Supreme Creator will be implemented. We know that the efforts of many of you to remain inviolable have been tiring, especially after going through a pandemic situation. It is clear that the attempts of those who act in darkness would leave them even more tired, but we also received information from our cosmic superiors that such complicated situations will not be tolerated either. We inform you that any attempt to create a false extraterrestrial invasion that threatens life on Earth will no longer be permitted, using our images or names in a negative way. Those who operate in the dark have planned for decades so that when the key moment of our presentations in your heavens arrives, you will be panicked and unsure about us. We tried to diminish their many attempts to instill fear about life outside the planet, and today we have much more support than ever before. It is necessary to inform that the non-Confederate extraterrestrial races which still hide in the Earth's caves and in some bases under the oceans are being monitored by us, and there is no chance of them escaping the consequences of millennia of action against the human species. Do not fear a war in your skies between our fleets and theirs, as we have very advanced technology and can freeze their actions whenever we wish. No nuclear weapons that will harm actions and that will trigger a third war on Mother Earth will be detonated. You have surpassed and illuminated such a timeline. It is also important to understand that there are still karmic balances being illuminated in various regions of the earth, and the collaboration of all of you as our representatives on the surface of the planet to assist in these karmic burns is essential. Don't waste time making judgments, but just act as anchors of light and act in the fields of action when called by synchronicities, which are nothing more than lines in a web connecting causes to their effects, and vice versa. You are coordinators of these events and have the ability to stop a war with your intentions and mental powers. Take a test and you will see the enormity of your mental power when directed and enhanced by the force of inherent and expanding love in each of you. Appreciate your days like never before and take your time as the Supreme Creator organizes the house for the arrival of the guests from the stars. We are much more excited than you can imagine, and, at the first sign of the Creator, we will enter your skies with our thousands of ships and every eye will see. There will be those who, even though they have heard about us for generations, will be terrified at the prospect of losing control over what they consider themselves to be owners and responsible for. But there will be a much greater wave of joy from so many others who will welcome us with open arms and support us when some of our members are invited to explain our intentions. And these will be broadcast on all your TV channels at the same time. I am Salusa from Sirius and, as spokesperson of the Galactic Federation, I reinforce our support for all of you, and we rejoice at the proximity of this event, long awaited for the last 26,000 years. You are in a special cycle where you will complete a great journey and will be rewarded with the right to travel through the stars as before, after a long journey in the lower dimensions. Feel our unconditional embrace, at this moment, as we talk about our mothership and observe the beautiful Earth with its cosmic shine, in addition to the sun's own shine on it. We of the Galactic Federation, who comprise a multitude of souls from across the universe and beyond, now meet in positive vibrations for the Earth and leave our love and blessings to all. Salatharan al Arjatan.